Hello, my loves. Okay, in the last class we broke down hands and feet. Today we're going to go into a side twist from hands and feet. I'm going to give a couple of little variations or places that just in case you need some variations as you're moving through practices, you know where to go. So from hands and knees, the hands are ahead of the shoulders, elbows externally rotate wide, the knees underneath of the hips. We're holding the fullness of our heart by pushing into the mat and really feeling the shoulder blades expand on the back. Slide your hips back, tuck your toes, and lift your knees, rise up into hands and feet. You can fix your feet to be as wide as your hips or as wide as your mat, whatever feels right. In this space, take a nice deep bend into the knees, softening the belly a little closer towards the thighs, and then extend into the legs, root your hips high and wide. Connect the toes, little snuggle into the ground, pause, press wide to the side. Okay. So the first variation is just knocking the right knee in a little bit towards the center mat. It's like a little doo-doo. And then bend into your knees, lighten the left fingertips, and rise into a gentle arch of the left side ribs. So the right knee narrows center. The hips pulse back and wide, keep the belly nice and long. And we're lifting into the widening and expansion through the left side ribs. Right ear drops towards right shoulder, lift the chin. Pour over top of the right arm. Okay, back center, try the other side. Bend into the knees, root your hips high and wide. Fill the heart, all sides of the rib cage expanding wide. We're going to narrow the left knee in just a little bit, bend the knees wide, and rise into the right side. As we begin to rise and widen into the right side ribs, right fingertips can lighten. Left ear to left shoulder, pour your crown over top of the left arm, lift the chin out of the throat. And so we're really working to widen into the ribs here. Left knee narrows as we widen and rise into the right side. So that's sort of like a kind of fun little place, and you can go back and forth into those, just sort of a little bit more flow. For example, bend and lift, and bend and lift, and bend and lift. The second, or the most common variation that you're going to find in the classes, is the full side arc or twisted cat. And this is like an alive side plank, if you will. An alive side rainbow plank. Okay? So from hands and feet, we'll bend into the knees. I'll show to the right side first this time. Externally rotate the left hand just very subtly, just a little bit. Toes and knees twist to the right. Bend the knees forward. Root the hips back, and then rise, crescent up into the right side. Knees bend, hips root back, lift, peel open into the right side. A little bit of a pulse here, lightening through right fingertips, or keep the hand down if you need more support. We're looking to find that big rise through the right ribs, so that we're lifting the space underneath of the right armpit. Left ear draws towards left shoulder, lift the chin and pour open. Allow the belly to be soft versus curled in. So we're lengthening the belly, lengthening through our central channel and pulsing here. Now if this is inaccessible to you, it doesn't feel good, it is strong, we're going to lower the left knee down. And then we're back into that humble kitty or that kneeling side arc. Yeah. And whether your knee is down or not, the actions are the same. Knees forward, hips back, soft belly, rise into the ribs. You can use your right foot to dig down, drag the ground away. It's like pushing the ground away as you lift and arc into the right side. Okay. Back at center. Hands and feet bend into the knees. Little wiggle of your bum side to side. Soften, soften. Use your dig drags with the paws to connect into your glutes. Use your dig drags with your hands, digging and dragging into the ground to create these diagonal stretches. And then find your center, root the hips high and wide. Push into the ground, fill through the back. External rotation of the right hand, just a little bit. Toes and knees twist to the left. The knees bend forward, the hips root wide and high, and then open, peel into the left side. Bend the knees, slide the hips back, and rise like a rainbow into your left side ribs. The left paw can dig down and drag back, like pushing the ground away. And we want to keep little bends into the knees always. Oh my goodness, I just choked on my spit. So, root the hips, soften the belly, and open into the left side body. A big stretch, reach long if you want. And if it's too much, always just lower the back knee down. Sit back and rise. Sit back and rise. And this can be very subtle. It can be just like little tiny micro movements. Anywhere you are, your movements don't have to be big and dynamic. They can be just like little tiny pulses. And we keep the pulsing so that we keep things alive, you know? And so something that's common when we go into this place is you'll see that we twist and then you see that, okay? And what happens is it's like the legs are straightening and the shoulder is stacking right on top of the wrist, and it's not gonna feel very good. Another thing I see is people using their arms, mostly guys actually, start to do a push-up here because they see the movement but they don't understand the arc. So the arms aren't pushing up and the legs aren't pushing the heart forward. We're making a rainbow arc. So how we do that is we bend the knees, root the hips, and peel open into the right side. Left ear cascades over top of the left shoulder. And you'll get a big, beautiful stretch through your side. So we're lifting the ribs up, drawing the ear down, rooting the hips back, and allowing the belly to stay soft and long. Yeah, and it can just look so subtle. So that is a side arc or a twisted cat. I love you guys.